Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about my internship with the CRCT. It was about intermetallics for the aluminum industry. But first I'm going to present myself. My name is Amin Haroubi. I just finished my second year in chemical engineering. During my first year I had a class about materials and I became passionate about metallurgical processes, so I decided to join the VLab team at the beginning of the summer in order to gain some more experience about the field. But first, let's talk about aluminum. So aluminum is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust. Pure aluminum has high thermal and electrical conductivity with also a low density. But as we can see in this graph, pure aluminum has a low tensile strength compared to other metals and alloys. However, for this alloy, for example, it's aluminum and zinc, we can see that its tensile strength is drastically higher than pure aluminum. So let's see what's happening in the microscopic scale when we combine aluminum to another element. So here, for example, for the 206L and 206H aluminum alloys, so they are Al and copper alloys. We can see here that there are some crystalline phases that are formed as grain boundaries during solidification. Those crystalline phases are called intermetallics. They are directly linked to either an improvement or deterioration of the alloy's mechanical properties. So let's see how those intermetallics can be formed in the atomic scale. So here, for example, another AlCO system, we can see that when we quench, after we quench this supersaturated, let me phrase it. So first of all, this is a supersaturated solution of aluminum and copper. After we quench it and do some heat treatment at a specific temperature, we can see that there is a theta prime phase, Al2CO, that is starting to form. And when we age the alloy, we can see a distinct crystalline phase that is formed in the alloy without any distortion. So this is the intermetallic. Before I joined the VLab team, they already started to work on intermetallics, and they assembled a database regrouping the critical phases in aluminum alloys. So here are the names of those phases. They are classified by prototype, pressensible, and space group. Using those informations, we can define the crystal structure of the intermetallic, and eventually also define the internal energy of this intermetallic, because with these informations we can find the coordination, so the nearest neighbors of each atoms, and also the interdistances. So my work during this summer was to build a crystallographic database of intermetallics and analyze the structure of each phases, like I said earlier, the nearest neighbors and interdistances, and eventually using those informations, we would be able to describe the energetics of these intermetallics. So how was proceeding? I was using those information, so prototype, pressensible, and space group, to find the crystallographic structure in the literature, and then using those informations, I was able to visualize the crystal with OITO. So this is the smallest unit cell we want to visualize, and also do the pair analysis using a code. And again, the Al2CO example, when I search the Al2CO in a materials project, it's an open database that regroups information from the literature. We can see here that there is 3 Al2CO, so I'm using the space group of the Al2CO we want to select the right one, and using this this page, I can download the zip file to visualize the intermetallic with OVITO, and also the POSCAR file to do the pair analysis. So like I said, I'm using the POSCAR file. A POSCAR file is a text file that has a matrix which regroups the informations of all the atoms in a matrix. Using those informations, the pair analysis calculator can give us the interdistances between atoms. So basically, the distance of the first nearest neighbor, the number of AA pair, BB pair, AB pair, etc. We can go, we can have as many nearest neighbors we want using this pair analysis calculator. So during my internship, I was able to find informations for 62% of those intermetallics. The one that are in red either have no information whatsoever on the literature, or have only partial informations and have and need further work. The next part of my internship was to determine the internal the energetics of the intermetallic. So to do this, we needed the pair analysis, the interatomic potential selection, and the energy in function of volume curves obtained with DFT. Using this, we can determine the interatomic potential parameters using Python. So let's focus in this first part. To determine the interatomic potential parameters, for example, for Al2Co, we need to be able to describe the Morse potential parameters D0, alpha, and R0 of all possible pairs. For example, for Al2Co, we need to be able to describe the LL pairs, LL pair energy, LCU and CU pair. So to do this, we are using another we are using aluminum FCC to describe the AL-AL pair. To do this, we need the energy in function of volume curve calculated from DFT. And normally, if we do this correctly, if we guessed it correctly, the aluminum Morse potential parameters, so D0, alpha, and R0, should be universal for all crystal structures that are the same as FCC. So if we have an intermetallic that's FCC and has also aluminum, we can use those same parameters. That's why we were using a Python code to determine those parameters. So this Python code is using a least square method to fit a curve onto the DFT curve, and it can give us the Morse potential parameters, so D0, alpha, and R0. As you can see in this curve, in this graph, the approximation from Python is pretty accurate, so it's pretty good. And eventually, in the future, we will be able to describe the interatomic potential parameters of all those those intermetallics. So in the future, what we want to do is to describe the rest of those intermetallics that weren't found. Maybe we can use our own techniques and experiences to determine the crystal structure. And eventually, in the future, we would be also able to describe the energetics of all of those intermetallics using the same method as I described before. So we should, for example, Al2Co, we can in the future we can work on the CU-CU pair and eventually have those interatomic potential parameters, and eventually be able to describe the intermetallic Al2Co. So here are my sources, and I thank you very much for listening to my presentation.